The first time I saw Queen Aelira, I thought she was the most terrifying being in the galaxy. Not because she looked monstrous. Quite the opposite. She was beautiful in a way that didn't feel natural to a human mind. Tall, graceful, with silver skin that shimmered like moonlight on water. Her eyes glowed faintly violet, and her long white hair floated as if gravity didn't fully apply to her. She stood on the throne platform inside the great hall of the Illyrian palace, surrounded by towering pillars of living crystal. And somehow she was staring directly at me. A random human engineer. The summons. 3 days earlier, I had been fixing a malfunctioning energy core on an outer colony station. I was halfway inside a maintenance hatch when my supervisor ran into the room looking like he'd seen a ghost. "Daniel," he said breathlessly. "Stop what you're doing." I slid out from the hatch. "Why?" He swallowed. "The Queen has summoned you." I laughed. "Very funny." He didn't laugh back. That's when I knew something was very wrong. The Illyrian Empire ruled over more than 200 star systems. Their technology was centuries ahead of humanity's, and their queen was known across the galaxy as both brilliant and unpredictable. And for some reason she wanted to see me. Not my supervisor. Not the station commander. Me. The royal court. The palace was enormous, more like a floating city than a building. Ships larger than mountains hovered in orbit around it. Royal guards escorted me through endless glowing corridors. Every alien I passed stared. Humans weren't common visitors in the inner court. When the giant doors of the throne hall finally opened, my legs almost stopped working. Thousands of nobles filled the chamber. At the center of it all stood the throne and the queen, Aelira. The guard stopped at the bottom of the long crystal staircase leading to her. "You will approach alone," one of them said. "Great." No pressure. I slowly walked forward. Every step echoed through the hall. When I finally reached the top, I bowed awkwardly. "Your Majesty." She didn't respond immediately. Instead, she studied me. Her glowing eyes moved slowly from my face to my hands, then back again. It was the most uncomfortable silence of my life. Finally, she spoke. Her voice was soft, but it carried through the entire hall. "Human Daniel Mercer." I blinked. She knew my full name. "Yes, Your Majesty." Another pause. Then she asked the strangest question I had ever heard. "Do humans always repair machines that are not theirs?" I frowned slightly. "Well, if someone needs help, I guess." Murmurs rippled through the court. Apparently, that wasn't the expected answer. But the queen didn't seem upset. In fact, her expression changed. She looked curious. The incident. She stepped down from the throne platform slowly. Every noble in the room immediately lowered their head. The queen of the Illyrian Empire was walking directly toward me. My heart started pounding. She stopped only a few feet away. "You repaired the defense core of Outpost 47, she said. "Yes." "You did so without requesting payment." "Yes." "You saved the lives of 23 Illyrian citizens." I scratched the back of my head. I mean, the core was about to explode. It just seemed like the right thing to do. The queen's eyes widened slightly, as if the concept confused her. "You risked your life," she said quietly. "Yeah." "For strangers." "Well, yeah." The court was completely silent. Then the queen said something that made the entire hall gasp. "I wish to understand you." I blinked. Okay. The strange arrangement. Over the next few weeks, something unbelievable happened. The queen kept summoning me. At first, it was just small conversations. She asked about Earth, human culture, why humans formed families, why we laughed at things that weren't logical, why we helped people we didn't know. Every answer seemed to fascinate her. Eventually, she stopped summoning me to the throne hall. Instead, She invited me to private gardens within the palace. We would walk among glowing alien trees while she asked questions. "Why do humans marry?" she asked one evening. "Lots of reasons," I said. "Explain." "Well, love, mostly." She tilted her head. "Define love." That question took me a while. The difference between worlds. I slowly realized something important about Illyrians. They didn't marry. Their society wasn't built around families. They formed partnerships for politics, genetics, or strategy, but never emotions. Love, as humans understood it, didn't exist in their culture, which meant the queen was learning something completely foreign. One night, we were sitting beside a glowing lake. Aelira watched the water quietly. "Humans choose one person," she said, "usually, and remain with them. Hopefully, for life. That's the idea." She was silent for a long time. Then she asked, "And if the person is imperfect?" I laughed. "Everyone's imperfect, but humans stay together anyway?" "Yeah." "Why?" I looked at the water. "Because love isn't about perfection." She stared at me like I had just revealed the secrets of the universe. The rumors. Of course, the court noticed everything. Whispers spread through the palace. The queen was spending an unusual amount of time with a human. Some nobles didn't like it, especially Lord Valus, one of the most powerful figures in the empire. One afternoon, he confronted me in a corridor. "You should remember your place, human." I frowned. "My place?" "You are a curiosity," he said coldly. "Nothing more." I never said otherwise. His eyes narrowed. "Yet the queen seeks your presence daily. Ask her why." His expression darkened. "Careful," he said quietly. "You may not survive court politics." Then he walked away. Great. Now I had enemies. The question. A month later, the queen summoned me again. But this time, it wasn't to the gardens. It was the throne hall. The entire royal court was present. Thousands of nobles filled the chamber once again. I felt a very bad feeling in my stomach. The queen stood on the throne platform. But this time, she looked nervous, which was strange. Queens weren't supposed to look nervous. When I approached, she raised her hand. The hall became silent. Then she stepped down toward me again. Her violet eyes met mine, and she asked a question that changed my life forever. "Human Daniel." "Yes, Your Majesty." She hesitated. Then she said slowly, "What must I do to become your wife?" The shock. For a full 10 seconds, I thought I had misunderstood. The entire hall exploded with shocked whispers. Some nobles actually stood up in disbelief. Lord Valus looked like he was about to faint. I stared at her. "Your Majesty, I think you just caused about 12 political disasters." She ignored the chaos around us. "I require an answer." "You're the ruler of 200 star systems." "Yes." "I'm a repair technician." "I am aware." I ran a hand through my hair. "This isn't how marriage proposals usually work." She tilted her head again. "Explain." "Well, normally 2 people fall in love first." I believe I am attempting that. The entire court was staring at us. I lowered my voice. "You don't even know if you love me." She answered calmly. "That is why I ask what is required." I sighed. "Your Majesty, becoming someone's wife isn't about rules." "Then what is it about?" I looked into her glowing eyes. "It's about choosing someone not because you're powerful enough to have them, but because you truly want them." She was silent. Then she asked the most honest question I had ever heard. "Then tell me, Daniel Mercer, how do I become someone you would choose?" The answer. I thought about it carefully. Then I said, "You stop being the queen." The hall gasped again. Aelira didn't look angry. She looked curious. "Explain." "You can't command love," I said. You can't order someone to marry you. You have to be just a person. I do not know how to be just a person. I smiled slightly. Then maybe that's where you start. The ending. For several seconds, the throne hall remained silent. Queen Aelira stood perfectly still, her violet eyes locked on mine. All around us, the royal court waited. Nobles whispered behind jeweled hands, guards stood frozen like statues, and Lord Valus looked like he was witnessing the collapse of the empire. Finally, the queen spoke. Just a person. She repeated the words slowly, as if testing them. Then something completely unexpected happened. She turned around, walked back up the crystal stairs, and sat on the throne again. The court seemed to relax slightly until she raised her hand. Leave us. The command echoed across the hall. For a moment, no one moved. Then the guards began ushering thousands of stunned nobles toward the exits. Even Lord Valus tried to protest. Your Majesty, this is highly... Leave, she repeated calmly. The doors closed. The massive throne hall was suddenly silent. Only the two of us remained. He most powerful ruler in the galaxy, and a human mechanic who still smelled faintly like engine grease. She looked down at me. Approach. I walked halfway up the staircase. Daniel Mercer, she said, I believe I have misunderstood something important about humans. That happens a lot. You say love cannot be commanded. That's right. You say it must be chosen. Exactly. She stood again and slowly walked down the steps. But this time she stopped beside me, not above me. Not as a queen. Just beside me. That means, she said carefully, if I wish to become your wife, I must first become someone you would willingly choose. Yeah. And if you do not choose me, then the answer is no. That's how it works. She considered this with absolute seriousness. The queen of 200 star systems was thinking about rejection. Finally, she asked, then tell me something honestly. Okay. If I were not a queen, would you consider choosing me? I looked at her. Really looked. Beyond the glowing eyes. Beyond the alien beauty. Beyond the crown. What I saw was someone curious, thoughtful, and strangely sincere. I might, I admitted. Her expression brightened slightly. But, I added, that's the easy part. What is the difficult part? You actually learning how to live like a normal person. She looked genuinely confused. What does that involve? I smiled. Well, for starters, normal people don't have armies. She glanced toward the doors. Removing the army may be politically complicated. Fair. What else? They don't have servants bringing them everything. She thought about that. That seems inefficient. It's called living. She crossed her arms thoughtfully. And what if I fail at being a normal person? Then you fail. And you would still consider choosing me? Maybe. The queen smiled for the first time since I met her. It wasn't a royal smile. It was warm. Then I will attempt this challenge. You're serious? Yes. I stared at her. You're going to try living like a normal person just to see if I might marry you? Correct. That might be the most insane thing I've ever heard. Is that good or bad? I honestly don't know. She seemed satisfied with that answer. Then she did something that shocked me again. She reached up, removed the glowing crown from her head, and placed it on the throne behind us. Then for now, she said calmly, I will stop being the queen. I blinked. Hold on. That's not how abdication works. I did not say forever. Good. I said for now. And what exactly does for now mean? She looked at me with quiet determination. It means you will show me how humans live. I rubbed my temples. You realize the entire empire might panic. That seems likely. And your advisors are going to lose their minds. That also seems likely. And Lord Valus will probably try to assassinate me.
She thought about that.
I will assign 2 guards. 2. 4. Thank you. She nodded. Then she asked the question again, but this time, it sounded completely different. Not like a ruler making a demand, like a woman asking something real. So tell me, Daniel Mercer, what must I do to become someone you would choose? I looked at the empty throne behind her, then at the AlienQueen standing in front of me, without her crown. I sighed. Step 1. Yes, you're going to need a job. Her eyes widened slightly.
A job?
Yep. What kind? Well, since you're apparently very interested in human engineering. She leaned forward. Yes. I grinned. Congratulations. You're now my assistant. She blinked. The Queen of the Illyrian Empire is your assistant? For now. She thought about that, then nodded seriously. That seems like a reasonable beginning. I laughed. Your empire is never going to believe this. Perhaps not. And if they try to stop you? Her violet eyes glowed slightly brighter. Then they will discover something important. What's that? That even a queen, she looked at the crown resting on the throne, is allowed to fall in love. For a moment, neither of us spoke. Then she asked quietly, Daniel? Yeah, when humans fall in love. Yes. Do they always know immediately? I smiled. Not always. Then how do they know? I shrugged. Usually they figure it out along the way. She considered that carefully. Then she extended her hand toward me, not as a queen giving an order, but as someone asking for partnership. Then let us begin along the way. I looked at her hand, then shook it, and somewhere far beyond the palace walls, across 200 star systems, the galaxy had absolutely no idea that its most powerful ruler had just started a new job as a human mechanics assistant. And maybe, just maybe, the beginning of the strangest love story the universe had ever seen.